Bringing in the Cypher, of course, you do need that Cypher for information, and Guimond playing the Sova. So those are your two info plays, and then you're going for Hwin on the Sage. So I'd say this is pretty bog standard. This is actually what the same LoL roster was running as well when we watched them. The real change up between them is the Omen instead of the Brimstone. Just a little bit more. I don't know. I would say you still got the smoke cover, a little bit more ability to make individual plays, perhaps, versus a more supportive character on that Brimstone, but really just a bit of a philosophical difference there.
Just some shots being sent down early here. As you see Wardell back in the back of the C site, sending some shots through that Brim smoke. And there's the Owl drone as well, going up and around through the window. Not going to make it through the window far enough to actually spot anyone. So right now it's a pretty quiet round. It does look like they want to try and go towards C. Sabrosa's got to be careful. Moving into that area could be somewhat dangerous. There's a lot of players up on the opposite end. And the timing, later. Pretty quick work for them to dispatch of him. Now, Wardell times that wall perfectly. Could not have timed it any better, as they were really right about to come out, and that's going to cause them to go a complete different direction.
I like that call from them, though, right? Not to try and... Because they basically had two options, right? It's either you back out or you barrel through the door into the back halls to try and see what you can do there. But that's an unknown. You don't know what they've done. You don't know whether they're setting a specific trap based on that wall going up. So just readjust. Figure out what you're going to do. Wardell actually goes back to confirm they haven't done that, and now the pressure is going to be back on as they still wanted to hit C. He's full blind. No chance to even shoot back. Fortunately, has the movement and has that down enough already to be able to skip his way on out of the site. But a wall up now for back halls that just got to break that. It's going to be a spike plant already, and now a 5-on-4 hold. Really nice done. Everyone's coming from the same direction. Hwin on top of the wall is going to be able to swing, get one, get the heal orb up onto himself, and fall away. They will finally track down Hwin, but the take is still going to be awry. They've got to move his creep from the back. Do eventually do so the kill's working out here. It's all onto Guimond. He's playing from the garage. He's not going to be able to quite spot the spike yet, and they take the phase drone, winning it out. So despite a great hold, despite having the site firmly in their grasp, they're unable to hang on to it, unable to win their pistol duels, and they do wind up losing out the round.
All right, let's jump into this second round.
Got your binds all sorted?
Yeah. It's a complicated procedure. It's one thing if you were just observing, you would have enough time.
Right.
But
it'd be relatively easy.
Yeah, it's you don't really. I want to try and find a way. I got to look into it. I got to talk to a programmer where, like, depending on the position the character's icon is in, that changes what number they are. So then I'd literally just, as a trick, like, click them around and then run, like, a file to update it. That would be awesome. Sabrosa, meanwhile, over on B, spamming through that smoke on long, gets a quick kill on an early target. Now, it looks like they ran back and grabbed up that ult orb over on long C, so at least they got something out of the exchange. But in the meantime, they've actually gotten the Sova up into the window, so Guimond has pushed through short C and might have a flank play here over towards the C site.
Gonna have to be careful here on that script so you don't get caught by the anti-cheat.
Yeah, that's also true.
Look at the player in back sight. Guimond all the way through. They have no idea. They don't expect it. He's gonna get one off of that. But can he survive? The Cypher actually backed out, so now he might be able to fake this over here. Actually just come here, but Omen in the back line. Sabrosa gets one traded as he tries to bail off of that. This has gotten very frisky, but with drone clearing out the back halls, this should be just fine. They know where this last player is playing from. They know where Hwin is. He has to go back for the spike. That chews precious time off the clock, and then just has to make a decision. And frankly, I think his option is only A, where Hayes should have the angle on him. Oh, timing. Hayes pulls off right at the wrong moment. Won't have the information here. It's going to play back in towards site. With a Cypher on quick rotate, it still should be okay. If Hwin hits a quick headshot onto Hayes here and manages to get that spike plant, maybe, just maybe there's a chance, but without enough time, that Cypher tripwire being triggered, they know when he's coming. The element of surprise is lost, and the round is won.
What do they go for the buy here? Let's take a look. Oh, wrong button. So you will see a couple of Bulldogs coming in.
Yeah.
Despite winning the first few rounds, I mean, this is the weird thing with the way the game plays out. Like, it feels like defensively, or even just really, whoever wins the first two, it feels like you're always the one coming in with a really bad buy in the third. Unless you did amazing. Even if you did amazing, you still have the terrible equipment.
There's much less of an advantage to winning as opposed to in terms of loss bonus, and it really does get quite tight. There's not really the bonus round. There's not really the economic spoils. You've really got to fight it out and just start winning rounds flawlessly to actually build up much of a bank at all.
No more charges left.
The breach over on the A site, dealing with that potential Cypher play coming in. It's going to be Hayes who's in that corner. Hayes pretty frequently playing over here. Oh, that camera is not in a good enough spot to actually spot out Hayes. Meanwhile, they're going to be taking their kind of fight towards short C. That was drone going down. Wardell wants to peek this so bad and might actually get the backstab play. Is the Cypher going to get there in time? That's the ultimate question. Cypher now coming through the window. No, Wardell does strike first. And Wardell tries to go back towards the site. Not going to matter. Cutler's here, able to get 2 kills on the site. Now trying to find another as the ice starts to fade on the backside of site. Cutler's still in position. The flashbang comes in, but it doesn't help him out. Guimon is there, ready to try and stop this push. Sabrosa on the back end, the flank play. They know the breach is here over on the other side. That breach charge goes to a strange territory. And somehow they didn't spot the breach, who's still here on site. And it's actually going to be Effie's who comes up with the clutch.
That got a little wild. That got a little wild at the end, but Effie's does come out with it on the clutch. And as we were talking about, there's not really any saved money. I mean, there's a bit here for the defensive side. I don't think they can justify going for a full buy. They're going to... No, they're going to go for it. Okay, they're going to get rifles up. Presumably 2 players going to be on towards the sheriffs. Or something of that nature. A Bucky for drone. Okay. Drone cam. Let me find drone. Bucky plays. It's the new Zeus. Are they going to give him anything?
The gun can be nuts. Drone looked like he was setting up some awesome recon dart, but then we didn't get to see it. Thought for sure we were going to see something crazy, but it doesn't actually end up coming into fruition. They're going to, again, set up kind of feelers across the map, sending that Cypher over towards long, trying to get that intel early on. The Brim is going to be joining them as well. The bomb in the hands of Sage back towards mid-window. So a little bit more of a cautious play here. Wardell does actually pick one off over on long. That's Effie's going down. It was in C-short, actually, through the doors. And there is no Sage ult here, so there's no way to pick them back up. Meanwhile, over on the A site, we've got the breach here, going for the flash. Hayes changing positions. And the Sova. That would be drone. We were talking about it. The Bucky. That shotgun can be so devastating at the right range, but it can also be disappointing. If you're the person holding that gun, sometimes it feels like it should do so much more than it does. Shotguns can be a little bit confusing at times.
This game is very fluky. He's going to be presumably pushing the flank here because they've bailed out. There's a Sage who was looking. That would be Huynh who was looking to poke his nose through the door and didn't quite do so. Instead, it's going to be a fight towards B. It's a full take on. Nice hold to the back of Sage. Cutler on one though. Sliding around the ult turns it into a second to boot. Nice impact play from Cutler. Now we'll see if they can actually get the spike plant in. There's already the Sage through, but the trades are there, and now they should know where PL1's playing from. He's recon bolted as well. I mean, there's just no chance. The shock dart's going to come in, and this is going to be a massacre. Sabrosa is the one to do the justice, but one way or another, you assume that PL1 was his time was numbered in the back of that site. It will be a third round for mouseSpaz. They do reclaim their momentum a wee bit here. It's interesting to me how much...
So I can see your camera at all times, and you can't see me. And I saw you hold your mouth open for a while. I'm like, is he gonna say something, or is he just yawning?
I was ruminating. I was trying to figure out how to phrase a thought I was having. What's interesting to me is that Brimstone ults, the longer this game is out, become less and less about doing damage and more about eliminating one position you have to check.
Yeah, it's a delay tactic. It's not necessarily a lethal play. It's like Raze's ult. Raze's ult is not really lethal anymore. Raze's ult is more of a kind of delay tactic. You hear that ult pop, and you're like, oh, I gotta move quick. That's kind of how I feel about both of them. You hear the ult coming in from Brim, and it's the instant, tuck tail and run moment. I like this play from Sabrosa. Being aware that the recon dart just came through, now trying to get into position, does spot them. send some damage down, but doesn't want to overstay the welcome, and that's certainly understood, especially with that breach ability coming through. Now, they don't have a player actually on C currently, as the C player has completely pushed through, and uh-oh. Will this play get blown up by the Cypher? The Cypher's still holding back in the window. The timing is going to be huge here. Can he get past? They're going to get past. Wardell gets 1, 2, 3. Now taking advantage of the combat stim. It's all down to 1. It's down to the Cypher. And Wardell will get the 4th as well. Almost didn't work out. If Michael had just peeked that window and caught Wardell on the flank, likely would have been over for the Sage. But timing is everything.
That's, yeah. Absolutely. The perfect window. There was exactly one window that play works in, and Wardell just happened to find it, slide right through, get skinny, find the exact moment to make the move, and do so. This is starting to look a little reminiscent of what we had last go around, just in that the last few rounds have looked pretty dominant for mouseSpaz. Still, we've had some more damage, at least initially, for the French and Canadians. They've obviously got one map of leeway as well, but it's becoming pretty apparent that this mouseSpaz team are quite a team to be feared here on Haven.
Yeah, I'm curious what these two teams played when they played the first time around, because French Canadians
check, I think,
sent them down. I don't think it shows in the bracket. I mean, you can go ahead and do your back-end research there. I like the play here from Sabrosa, getting aggressive early and mid, but realizing, okay, they're not really coming here, so I need to change positions because I might need to help somewhere else. Wardell is that person that needs that help currently. Wardell up in the corner with just a Spectre. There's the flash through. Going to get called out here. And a dink shot coming in from the Sage, but it's not going to be enough. A heal will come out as well, so going to negate the damage that was dealt. And now it's up to this defensive side to come in on the retake. It's going to be Cutler, Hazed, and Drone, the Sage, or the Sova, the Breach, and the Cypher. Sage wall does go down, so they're going to have to blast that one to smithereens to try to get back into the site. Cypher sending out a dart. Will get shot from the backside. Here comes the ult coming out from Hayes, trying to slow things down. Drone moving in. Flashbang comes out. Nice shooting from Drone, who's found another on the round. The Breach charge coming out as well from the Breach. Shock dart going down on long. Kimon still slowed here. And it comes down to a 1v1. It's the ult coming out here. And that should win the round. Not much can be done. Well played by Effies. Thought maybe we'd see another highlight reel moment for Drone, but it's just not enough.
Great use of the ult, as you said, just to not have to take that initial peek, because you know there's still enough time for him to get it through. That ult just makes it confirmed. Even if he dies there, there's no chance he gets back to the spike and gets on it quick enough to get that spike dealt with. So that's the perfect time to use an ult, right? You're gonna guarantee a round, and they've still got 4 in reserve. Actually, for both sides, they've mirrored their ults are mirrored perfectly. Both of the breaches have 1 orb and are far away from their entry ults. They've got everybody else's ult come through. So this round could have quite a bit of fireworks, quite a bit of explosiveness. They'll take some control in towards Garage early on. They're looking for that camera, but the camera's not exposed just yet. If it pops out, expect Effies to tap it real fast. You know he's looking for it. But at least for the moment, the Cypher is actually towards the other side.
Well, that is not how you needed that one to go. There's the ult coming in as well. The slow coming out. That might... not quite. Almost. A second longer and they would have gotten multiple kills, but they do take down the Sage, so that's actually huge. They lose that support play. They lose the ability to res. So it will be a 4-on-4 with an opportunity for a res here for the opposite side, as that body is in the C-short connector and the Sage is right there. They've also got Hayes pushed up pretty aggressively on long. Hayes going to be holding this angle. Might be able to find multiple kills. No, can't get the recoil under control for the second.
I know exactly
so a good trade back. And the ult coming out from the Cypher as well here on the attacking side. Drone trying to get into position with the Sova. There's the recon dart coming out, and the smokes coming in as well. Trying to get into the site, but there's some wallbang damage coming out from both. They're going to stop the spike as well. That long rotate over did not work out so well in the end for the attacking side. Guimon, 1-on-4, looking like another round for mouseSpaz.
It is indeed. And there was also a little detail there. They rezzed the Omen, and then the Omen used an ult to get back in towards Heaven, just to make absolutely sure that they would have enough bodies here on the quick rotate. So at this point, Guimon's just going to try and save. Guimon is bailing the heck out of here, rotating all the way around back towards window, and they're not quite... well, actually, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. The Sova might be able to catch, but the tripwire prevents it. Slows him just enough to guarantee that this rifle comes through into the next round. The question is just, what can you really put around it? You only burned one ult. They only burned the Cypher ult on that attack, so they've still got quite a bit, and you'll note the defense did spend everything except their own Cypher in turn to try and hang on to it. It was successful, so it's obviously justified to burn the ults through there. But now this next round might see them a little bit limited. Problem is, without the guns to build around it, even if you can use the ults to get an entry, to clear a little bit of space, what can you do afterwards?
Again, back over towards this A site. Tremor's going to come down from Hayes as the aftershock fires through. Holding on to that charge for at least the time being. But there are a lot of bodies building up towards this A site. Now, this is a problem here. Hayes recon darted. There's the flash coming in as well. That ends up being way more fruitful here on the attacking side than you'd anticipate. Guimon now coming in fast with that recon dart. And the shock dart as well onto the site almost does damage to his teammate. But that was a fast play towards A that really started because of that Sova owl. Getting that Sova dart in on the breach who was backside site eliminated the ability to really use those breach flashes and that breach charge. Now Wardell coming in from heaven with the operator. The ult's going to come out from Brim. I mean, this is getting closer and closer to being a save. They just lost the op, and now it's time to call it. They need to get out of here and run away with these guns. Great play coming in from the attacking side of the French Canadians.
I love that. And it's an unorthodox plant spot as well. You don't see the spike move that far forward very often, but that basically forces them, even if they're making a heaven play, if they want to try and read some information, they've got to drop right out, and that exposes them to such a great degree. So I really like that change up. It obviously wasn't a huge impact into this round, just because there wasn't really enough of an attempt back into sight for it to come down to fight over a spike. But still, nice detail to keep an eye on there. And they do still have a little bit in reserve as well. They're going to have the momentum. There's not really any ults from either side, so this one's going to come down to the gun battle. And it seems like they're going to try and go back to perhaps this garage aggression and see if they can't execute off of it once more. Wardell wants to take this pick. He's got the op. We've seen him dry peek it before. I'm going to pull up his perspective because I expect him to just go for a fast fight here with the OP. And there's players on the other side waiting to receive him. They break off the doors. There's the slow orb. Slow orb and the owl, you can't do it. They got info. They slowed you down. Bail out. That idea is not going to work out.
Yeah. We saw that aggressive play come in from Wardell in the last map. And it did work out a little bit. Drone playing aggro here a little bit on short. Getting up closer than most players do up into that corner. It's such a tight spot. These corners on both sides can be difficult to deal with if you're on the attacking side, but the attackers look like they're going to be heading back towards C potentially, where you've got Wardell playing with this wall. Let's take a look at that wall and see how much time's left on it. It's still got significant life left. So there's a possibility he could have stayed there longer, but decides to change positions. Meanwhile, Drone does get aggro, finally finds a kill on Michael, but they're going to be moving up over towards C. They hear the footsteps as well in C short, so Cypher's going to make the call. Wardell misses the shot. Wardell's got to be careful. They're coming up on long. Wardell's going down backside. Wardell is dead. This is a great take yet again. The positioning here from the defense just does not work out well whatsoever. Now Drone coming in. Somehow sneaks past that recon dart. That smoke. Just a small gap. And his teammate is now dead. The smoke fades. It's a quick kill on the Guimon. Not going to get the follow-up on the Win, who gets the third kill on the round. 5-4. Frenchies right back in the game after a few hard-fought rounds. But again, I really look at that positioning coming in from the defending side. That's the reason why that came together. Just kind of strange.
It was strange. I think I see the idea, which is basically that Wardell can take a shot, and then you've got Sabrosa tucked into the corner who can swing off of it. So
but you have no long control.
They're trying to get out. That's the problem, right? They're trying to fight the opera. They're trying to get out. You basically fully commit yourself to that garage play. But anything for long, even someone getting through into back calls, you're done. You're completely undone. You've got no control on it. You've got nothing to slow. I don't even think they had tripwires from the Cypher to give them a little bit of information. So, yeah, I agree with you. It was very strange. Hayes going to get himself an opening pick here. Make this one a little bit easier. They're going to try the Sova ult. It's not connecting on anyone because there is no one in the site. So no dice on that one.
They got the kill on Sabrosa. Sabrosa died.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, Guimon popped that one from long towards short C and took down Zipchair. So the Omen is out, but they still have 2 ults on the defense. They've got the Cypher ult, and they've got the Breach ult as well. Breach over on the A site, though, likely not going to be popping that ult to delay the bomb, as it's going to be moving into that C site territory. There's the smoke coming down from the brim that'll allow them to kind of sneak up. Cutler, some damage being dealt down through the smoke. Did that actually connect? We'll take a look at the bodies here. Doesn't seem like it did too much. That's unfortunate. The recon bot going to sell out his position. Cutler says, that's great, you know where I am. I'm not going to slow down whatsoever. Here comes the ult, though, to try and stop the plant, and it does connect with 1 or 2. Drone on the flank did just get spotted by the tripwire, though, so they're going to be holding him for... No! Drone drops the spike, spotting the Sage, going for that dedicated plant, but now Drone's going to have to do all the work. Good kill coming out onto player 1. My goodness, Drone. 1v1 now against the other Sova. It's a Sova v Sova, and even though Drone had the ult, decides not to pop it. Good shock dart coming in from Gimon to do significant damage. We're all tied up at 5 apiece.
That was very nearly another addition into Drone's highlight reel. Not quite this time. I love the way he plays it, though. And it was interesting. I was initially going to say I thought Hayes maybe popped that ult a little bit early because he could have used it to try and either deny bomb plant a little bit later on or allow them for an entry back into sight with players stunned and pushed into the corners. But what he was actually trying to do was set them up for that flank to come through. He was delaying them just a bit of time to give Drone the extra seconds to get into the peak. And so from that perspective, I actually quite like it. Obviously, it doesn't quite work out. Just barely they managed to bring it back through. But nearly set Drone up for the play. Hayes going to get himself 1. Traded, though. That's a little bit unfortunate as the res will come up on the other side, and now they are at a man disadvantage with no ability to get a res up of their own.
Yeah, even just looking at the scoreboard, Wardell's a pretty significant distance from picking up that res yet again. So Drone's going to be in the corner here on short. There's the flash to lead them in. First kill's going to be Drone's to take. Guns down another. Nice play from Drone. Cutler on the site only gets 1, but that's okay because it is a 2-on-2 now. The spike going to be planted here in a moment. And it will be Wardell rotating in from B. And Zipchair coming in on the hard flank. Look at this aggressive play, though. They might catch Wardell with a knife out. They do. They spot Wardell, but Wardell still gets 1. Even with just an SMG, Wardell's able to capitalize. And now the Omen able to sneak up on long. They've got this Brim kind of hemmed into a corner. Great play. And a misstep there from the French Canadians, overextending that site control and playing right into a trap that wasn't even intentionally set.
No, not at all. I mean, the initial idea is great, right? You double push one angle, you secure it, you make sure that you've got it to play from, maybe get a player into heaven as well. If they had caught Wardell in the initial phase, caught him with his knife out rotating, gotten that kill, that works perfect. So great idea. Little bit sloppy on the execution just because they didn't manage to hem in that kill. And then once that engagement starts to take too long, the Brimstone realizes, you know, they could just be on site defusing the spike right now, and I don't know anything about it. So I has to go back and check. At that point, sandwich. Rock in a hard place. It's over. There's not much.
What kind of sandwich?
What kind of sandwich? Not a good one. I mean, I guess it depends on who's eating it. If you're over on the mouseSpaz size, that's like a beautiful prosciutto on ciabatta, which is a wonderful sandwich.
I was thinking more like grilled cheese, but
I'm
you went
lactose
like
intolerant.
fancy. You went fancy. I was thinking gamery.
I can't do grilled cheese. It's a bad time.
That's right. You can't. I forget about that all the time. Here they go into this C site. And it's going to be a quick take coming in for this attacking side. As it's down to just 2, it's the Cypher and the Breach. Hazed and Cutler now trying to work their way back in. There's the flash coming in towards the window. Doesn't really work out so well there for Cutler. Would have expected more from that, but doesn't end up working out. Hayes now in a 1-on-4. Has about as much chance surviving here as you do of eating nachos and not ending up with intestinal discomfort. And there you go. 6-6, we're all tied up as we switch over to the second half.
You had to go there.
I mean, you brought it up.
My digestive tract. Well, I mean, you trying to feed me grilled cheeses? I don't know. Gotta come up with something here.
You've had cheese before.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
You've done it to yourself.
This is true. Sometimes it's delicious. They make these pills. They're about 70% effective, I would say. Sometimes it's worth the risk.
Are they expensive? I've never asked.
Nah, they're not terrible. Let me think. They're not terrible. It's not a major expense. It's just like an over-the-counter thing, or you just get it off the shelf at the pharmacy. I think it's like $20-30 for a 60-pack. I just don't eat milk that often. If I ate milk on a daily basis and needed to take them on a daily basis, that would probably be quite expensive. But the longer, like the older I've gotten, the more time I've been aware of my lactose intolerance, I just don't eat milk or avoid it if I can help it. Wardell gets himself a pick early on. I think Effie's did do some damage here, but this is going to be a fast play up towards A. You see the Breach is already wrapping. The Sage has gotten here into support. That Twin coming in for a little bit of help, but okay, deleted. Gone. Out. Drone's dealt with at least. Effie's hits another shot. I think that was a headshot as well. Guimond on site to support now, and Guimond dealing the damage. 3 kills in total. What was looking fantastic for mouseSpaz has been turned on its head. That recon bolt, this should be all over. No way. Cutler manages to get back through and get the 1v3 with them having full info. Still, he's got to try. He's got to attempt. And he's got a minute to do so as well. So we can whittle a little time. But forcing the fight, Michael will put one right between the eyes. And that will be the 7th on over to the French Canadians.
God, these binds. It's so annoying. It really is. I hope they fix this fast. Because it's like, it's a frustrating thing to have to deal with every
You gotta imagine
time.
it's a relatively easy fix. Like, obviously, I don't know. I don't know how they have it set up. But presumably, they've got some sort of a protocol at the beginning of that re-spins at the beginning of a half that assigns numbers to players. And I'd imagine that well, I guess it's probably tied into the, like, set half protocol or whatever that is. I'm completely conjecturing here. Pulling these answers straight out of you-know-where. But I wonder whether they could
Where
just
are you talking about?
change it to only write the player number order at the beginning of the first half.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a really bizarre way that this happens. I don't get how it could even be a problem, but again, not a developer, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I am. I just hope that they fix it. Now, we do have a pause coming in. Thank God. That makes it a lot easier on me, setting up these binds, fixing things here for myself.
I was gonna say, based on my illustrious career in computer science 101, I think I eminently qualified to make a judgment on this.
Clearly,
everything I know about it. Now look, at the end of the day, we've all acknowledged this. The spectator UI, they did not anticipate it being this heavily
used. It's built off the in-game
on.
UI. So the reality is, like, we can't see the attacking side. Like, we can't see their HP. We can't see their economy update accurately and do it live. It's not possible to see it. So we don't see the UI reflect changes immediately. We don't see the HP when they're getting shot. There's some other bugs too, but for those that don't know basically what we're talking about, in the regular first half, it's 1 through 5 and 6 through 0. That's defense is 1 through 5, attack is 6 through 0. Those are the binds. What makes things confusing is the players slide in towards the clock, but the numbers don't change. So if, like, in this instance, if Cypher was button 6 and he dies, Sage slides over 1, Breach, Sova, Omen, they all slide over 1, but the binds still stay the same. So that's kind of tough. But in the second half, all of the buttons change to random numbers. There's still 1 through 5, but there's no way of knowing which one's which. So that's what we're talking about. Now, I've kind of got a workaround, but it requires remapping all of my binds when the second half starts, which it's not like something I can just do. It takes a little bit of time.
We appreciate you doing it, though, Mark.
Just give me a little bit more freeze time, and it won't be a problem.
Right? Give you, like, what it used to be in CS. It was quite a bit.
Give me a halftime, where there's like a 2-minute halftime like we have in Counter-Strike now, so you can play ads. Give me that. I'll fix all the binds. Effie's likely to spot the Omen, who has snuck up onto the B site. Oh, there's some dark cover coming through. Sabrosa might get pushed. Yeah, there you go. Good play from Effie's. Now, reminder, again, French Canadians are currently up 1-0. And I wouldn't say there were dark horses in this game, but they definitely were not the favorites coming into this entire event. There's the recon dart into the window, and Wynn's going to shoot that one. But go ahead.
Well, what I would say is these are some names who have competed at a high level in FPS before, and they've got a lot of chem together. When you got to imagine he's dead here. Unfortunately, they don't really have the weaponry to actually punch through this wall. If they did, if they could just go for the spam, he would be a goner. Now support is here to get the player jumping up, and Quinn has done a great job of just buying time in that position to survive, get his teammates around him, and secure a flawless 8th round. But what I was going to say is they've got a lot of chem with each other from playing in other games, and there being some history here, and then you take some time, you get used to this the adaptations of Valorant, just the slight differences, the way things change, the introduction of abilities. I'm not surprised that this roster is having a lot of success. I'm not surprised that they're pretty fierce contenders, and I think they can just kind of keep building on what they've got so far.
I just want to see long term what teams like this are going to pull off.
Smoke's down.
Right.
Like, is this going to be a team that even exists long term? Like, you have to ask yourself that question, because you look at teams and you wonder, are these teams that can actually potentially do something in that long term? Now, Sabrosa just popped 2 abilities early on in the round. Am I imagining things, or did I just see the Omen port to a position and port back right off the start of the round and waste that?
I was not watching, but he doesn't have either Shrouded Step, so I'd imagine that if he came in with a buy, he has done so.
It looked like that was the case. It looked like he ported at the beginning of the round and ported back. Kind of bizarre.
Well, actually, if he had 4,100 coming into it, he didn't survive last round. Right, the money doesn't update on the attacking side if we're looking at the scoreboard. So he actually probably only had 200 to spend on things. Might have just had the 1 port? I don't really know. Shrouded Step is 100, right?
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it's really tough to know, because again, like, we don't know if he had it coming in from the previous round. Like, we have no idea whether or not that came in. The Sage gonna catch player 1 just looking the wrong direction. So maybe a round building here as Wardell goes for the ice wall on Heaven. 1 slow orb remaining. Gonna use that one over towards spawn. Well played. So now it's time for the retake.
This duel with Hazed, I think, is going to determine everything. But Sabrosa's actually swing back to check it. Hazed gets it. Flank secured. This is now tough. They've got to get the picks from Heaven. If they don't, they're locked out of sight. With that wall up, it's a narrow gap that can come through. Love that shock dart. It's just not quite enough. Recon dart's going to be more annoying than anything else here. And they're both coming from lower now. So the crossfire should be established. Wardell will get the first. And the second player's in the smoke, full blind, just trying to come out. Spams, taps coming through. This round is over on the clock alone, if not the frags. Gets one last kill, Guimond, to get a little bit of extra ult charge, but he will die to the spike here. Exploded away. And that is
barely died to that spike, too.
Around.
Now, I see people in chat asking, where did these guys play? Don't they have high-level experience? Yes, they do. Effie's played Mountain Dew League, PL1 played MDL, Guimond played Pro League at one point, playing for Rogue. Played a couple bigger tournaments as well, playing for Rogue. In my opinion, probably a player that was a little underrated. Same could be said for Drone, who has pro-level playing experience when he played for Splice. Cutler and Hazed obviously had their time with CLG, as did Sabrosa. Wardell played with Ghost Gaming, formerly B's Money Crew.
Sabrosa also was on that.
The other team, yeah, this is true. So the other team is all ex-Pro League Counter-Strike players, whereas French Canadians, not exactly the same.
They've all played MDL at least.
Yeah, they've all played high-level Counter-Strike, but just not as high a level as the side of mouseSpaz.
Definitely true. Definitely true. Owl going to be out there, just get a little info. There's actually heavy presence. It's a full stack on the A site. And if they realize this, the Cypher's going to try and hold them at bay. And yes, there are a lot of tools in that toolkit to slow you down on the Cypher. But if they make a decisive strike here, this is about all over. Instead, a lot of pressure is going to be on to Sabrosa. He's got 2 players pushing him. Timing not going to be his friend here. Quinn manages to catch him right around the lip. But now they're moving into C. They use the ult, perhaps a little unnecessarily, but in the Cyber Cage they go. Into the damage they will find. And with Michael down, this round should be just about done and dusted.
Interesting. I thought that would have worked out a little bit better there after hitting that ult and not really taking any damage, still staying in that corner, hiding and surviving a little while longer. You thought maybe, just maybe, but doesn't end up working out that well. There's the kill coming in from Hazed as well here. Sitting in the backside of sight, dodging that breach charge that came back towards him. But just like that, the attackers thinned down to just 2. It's Cypher and Sage on site. Wardell stuck inside this slow orb. Nice play from Win as well. It's all up to hit Cutler. And that molly's going to make it really hard to get in. Good damage being dealt. PL1 was sticking the bomb the whole time.
My ult's ready.
Fire and ice. The ice slows you down. Fire kills you. It's a interesting blend of sensations there he was experiencing.
I did forget Drone used to be on Envy, so I forgot about that roster. But to be fair, a lot of people did.
Oh, that feels bad. You could say that about most Envy rosters since
since the French team. So
it's been a rough run for them.
I mean,
Stim beacon here.
I've had extensive time sitting down to talk with Drone over the years. I've known Drone for basically since I got into esports.
Okay.
Drone at the time was working in production, and I was working as a caster, just like an aspiring one. I would argue I am an aspiring one. I don't think I've necessarily cracked into that upper echelon, but he and I have had plenty of times to speak, and it's been interesting to watch his career trajectory. There are times when I was like, man, he like felt like he was done, like his career was over, and then he turns it around. And then it again kind of teeters off because it's just the opportunities don't stack up so well. Speaking of opportunities that don't stack up well, you're going to see the defenders locking down C short. The attackers are going in without the spike, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference. The spike was dropped in mid. Cutler, nice shooting with the ghost. At least some damage is going to be done. Some blood will be spilled. But the spike is gone, like the round's over.
Yeah, him getting a rifle at this point just save the rifle. There's not even a benefit to getting for the damage so much here. I mean, it's a little bit of cash, but you're not going to be getting any charge towards his ult. He's already got that. But he's going to try and go for the clutch. 25 seconds. I really don't fancy his chances in this one, but he's trying to find a little bit more damage, limit their economy going forward. It seems to be the call here. Don't know that I agree, but it'll be the attempt. A little wall bang there. Nice shot. I think he actually got the dink on the Quinn, but Quinn got the answer back and had it. Just trying to check over to Quinn's 1 HP. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Cutler, if you're watching back this VOD at some point, that sucks.
Now, like the reason I bring up his like history as a player in Drone, I feel like Drone was always a player that just got like kind of got the short end of the stick, ended up on teams that just weren't very good.
Yes.
So even if he was the best player, the team was never going to succeed. I'm hopeful that he'll find that opportunity here in Valorant, because mouseSpaz does play pretty well. Obviously, they're losing right now. It's 10-7. They're down 1-0 already. The French-Canadian is looking to maybe close things out. But Drone has played really well throughout the entirety of every game I've watched him play. He's currently the top performer for mouseSpaz, 16-12. I'm telling you this now, there is not a game he plays that he is not good at. I remember playing Rocket League with him like 2 weeks after it came out, and he was flying through the sky like a pro player, and I was just like, what are you even doing? I'm still trying to figure out how to do that front flip thing that everybody else is doing, and he's like, don't worry, I got this. I mean, he's just one of those players. He has that sort of gamer X factor where it doesn't matter what game it is, he picks it up and he knows how to play it really well.
Innate game sense. We can all only dream of achieving that level.
Yeah, right. We work really hard and we never get there. That's why we talk.
Really don't. We really don't. Those who can't do talk.
Look at this, though. The A site completely cleared out. There is no one defending here. PL1 pushed back on the site. Now, PL1's going to go for the ult. Yeah, there you go. That's the reason why. Spike does get planted. No kill actually coming in. So the placement on that ult, not ideal. There's the dark cover coming through, but it's actually going to go past. There's the flashbang to lead them in. So now the fight's going to take place here, but Effie's actually comes out on top of the first exchange. Smoke's going to come down from PL1. There's an Omen in the corner. That's going to be Subrosa. Does Subrosa get something going? Oh, Subrosa has an opportunity to get multiple kills here, but it'll actually be Cutler to chime in. But look at that. It's been spun back around. It's now on to Drone, a 1v2. It was a 1v3. Got the kill on to win. The clock is ticking. Drone goes through. Great bounce off the spike from PL1, and there should be enough time for the spike defuse. It's going to be an 11th round.
My mental clock for that spike is getting a little more finely tuned, and this might be it, Mark. This is not perhaps what we were expecting, especially after the dominant Haven games we had just seen from mouseSpaz. But the French Canadians clearly a different beast entirely, and if they get 2 more rounds, it's all over. They've taken the 1-0, they've got their map advantage, they're going home the victors. They're taking the crown in this Nerd Street Gamers Open Valorant tournament. And right now, I mean, how can you stop them? As you said, that really passive play on the site had us a little bit questioning what they were trying to do, and the ult doesn't do what it's supposed to, but the retake certainly does. They come through, they find it off. Look at Sabrosa trying to get aggressive around towards the long. Peel one's ready for it, doesn't have the shot though. Sabrosa will win the day, and now that's massive because they should at this point realize, or at least have some idea, that he is. What was that? Oh,
What?
what?
He literally just ult like 5 feet. What was he doing? For those that couldn't tell, he ulted from here. Oh, I can't actually ping on the map. Basically, from the end of A long back to the other side of A long. What a peculiar play. I'm not really sure what that was.
Because he doesn't even avoid a peek. I can't. Unless someone pushed A short and he was trying to get closer to the wall. But even then, why wouldn't you go deeper in? I'm so confused.
So weird.
I'm so confused. I wonder if he misclicked? I'm gonna chalk that one up as a misclick, because that makes no sense to me. They won the round, so great ult, Sabrosa, I guess. But
You just don't understand the meta, Mike.
Yeah, my poor brain can't understand this high-level play.
I mean, I guess you could make the argument that it was an audible fake, but like, let's be
that they're
real.
all checking their flanks.
Yeah, like that.
Wait.
That seems like such a waste. Like, I really do think that that's such a waste.
It's very strange. It's very strange.
There you
Sabrosa's gonna get a couple of
Sabrosa.
kills here.
That was actually through the door as well.
Nice follow-up. This is just an eco. There's a lot of sheriffs out on the field, so we're not expecting too much, but it's been a nice showing so far. They've lost 2 bodies. Could get an ult orb here. That would be a nice little bonus. Nope. Spike down. No more ult orbs. For anyone not familiar with the game, I know we can't all play it because it's technically still a closed beta, even though it feels like that closed is a very subjective term. Ult orbs do disappear after the spike goes down. They're just going to bail.
Yeah.
I do like this save call. They can get a couple rifles off those 2 players and just keep them into the next round.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that was just an audio fake. Like, I want to believe that was the case. I really do. But at the same point in time, I also want to believe that was just like a whoopsie. Well, I guess I'm just going to do this then. Because you could go anywhere else. Like,
yeah, right? Like, why wouldn't you... So they were hitting C, right, as that happened? Even if he's just audio faking, why doesn't he just teleport to closer to them to rotate faster into the C hit?
Yeah, like, he doesn't have to go into spawn. He doesn't have to go into B or somewhere else on the map. He could just go, go be with the rest of the team. I don't know.
It's very odd. It's very odd.
I'm going to say that was a mistake, and I'm going to ask Yassine after this one.
Hit him with the DMs. Hit him up in the DMs.
Yassine's another player that I feel like, kind of gets a bad rep as a player because his opportunities in Counter-Strike never worked out.
There was also that whole thing where everyone thought he was cheating when he first came out.
Yeah, well, you know what? So Sabrosa, like, as a Latin definition, Sabrosa means like under the rose, which is supposed to denote secrecy as well.
Okay.
So like, it's literally supposed to mean like in secret, hiding in plain sight, kind of like tongue-in-cheek when you really think about the fact that he was accused as a cheater. It's not like he changed his name after the fact, but like the idea of his name basically meaning like shh it was like kind of funny to me.
He's always had sort of an interesting career.
But he was on Cloud 9 when the team was dead, and that was brutal.
They brought him as a stand-in for basically it was like to escort the coffin to the grave.
Exactly where.
Okay, here we go though. This might be the map point round, and indeed it will be. Just a massacre on the retake. That spike did go down, but that's all you can really say for mouseSpaz, is that will be the 12th round for the French Canadians. And whatever the state of, Sabrosa's career, the state of this map is very much in question for him and for the rest of mouseSpaz, as only one of these next 3 rounds will need to be won for the French Canadians to seal the deal here and now and wrap this tournament up with a little bow on it.
goes here.
Camera placement coming in from Michael over towards the top side of the B site.
Yes.
We'll see if he's able to spot anything on the round.
Look at this stack. They're going for that heavy long peek, it seems. With the stim beacon too for PL1. Oh, they're going in on this phase. Shots out as well, so they're not hiding it. They're making no secret of their presence. And now the ult out from the Sova, going to catch anyone, doing some damage, I think. Hunter's Fury, Guimond does catch one, but there's a player close up, and Sabrosa will be able to trade that. The res comes in instantly as well, so the mistake is rectified. They actually do come out with the advantage, and without a res on the other side, it's going to make it a little tough on the defense here.
It does look like they're going to keep going towards this A site, though. Wardell is over on B, about to get challenged in a moment here with that AWP. There's the camera going down, the off shot. Taking out the camera. It does get them the missile they were looking for. There's the ult as well coming in from the brim. That's going to slow things down, and now it's falling down onto just two players. The ult's going to come out as well. Wardell's got to dodge this one. But the Cypher's got to rotate in. They lost the spike. They lost the site control too. This looks like it's going to be GG here for French Canadians.
Nearly impossible here. I was watching PL1's perspective there. He actually had his little wrist map up as a player peeked into him. Fortunately for him, Effie's saved his bacon. This could be all in. We've got two players on the other side. It's all going to come down to Cutler in the clutch. He's a legend of FPS from way back when. We'll see if he can bring it back in time. Up against 4 French Canadians. He's coming around the corner. Got the first. That's one. Looks for the second, but it's a player up high, Win, who will get the operator in. And it is going to be French Canadians who are the champions of your Nude Street Gamers Valorant Open.
Yeah, congratulations.